we spoke a little bit about sharing some facts and a timeline. I was just going to briefly give you guys the highlights, and then we kind of want to move into questions, which I'm sure a lot of you have, and we'll try to answer as we can. I'm sure you've all seen in the press this week, the bank has issued a notice saying that they're going to escalate foreclosure at this point, or accelerate foreclosure at this point. It's our understanding that they plan to file Thursday. That doesn't mean that the doors are getting boarded up on Thursday. It simply means that the process really begins to move toward the end at that point. And there's probably a good 3 minimum, maybe 4 weeks before we would see an auction, but it's probably within that time, somewhere in mid-April, that we think that it would probably move to auction. We would expect probably to see the announcement of a date after their filing as early as next week. And then once that date's in place, they'll advertise it for a number of weeks. So we're entering the beginning of the end unless something changes. We'd certainly hope to have more time, but we're not naive either about the fact that the bank's under pressure. They're certainly within their rights to foreclose. There are a number of things in decades of history that have led us to where we are now. There's also a number of people involved that are stakeholders in this. I think it's important for everybody to understand some of those moving parts without getting into too much detail. We believe, all of us who have taken an interest and tried to get involved, certainly the community is at the top of that list. This is something that Tom and his family have tried to run as a community-based operation for a long time, although it was in private ownership. And it is certainly the catalyst for why they were willing to sacrifice everything that they have. And the idea that the community might lose that opportunity to have a say in and influence what this becomes going forward is a real shame. I don't think it's a lost opportunity, but people are going to have to act quickly. The city's a stakeholder. They have a guarantee of the mortgage on this place. They've formed a steering committee to try to analyze the situation, gather information, and make a recommendation to the mayor's office about what they think would be in the best interest of the city going forward as far as an approach and a model and a structure for how this could be run. The state is a stakeholder. During that time that I was speaking to, when they were struggling to stay alive over here and things were being neglected across the street, the state was one of the few parties that recognized the value of this as an economic development anchor and infused little bits of cash along the way to try to help keep it alive, so that it could remain intact and be that anchor that we all think and believe it can be for this hopefully great Main Street community. The bank, obviously, and then obviously the staff. We're all wondering what they're going to do next, depending on what happens here. So there's a lot of different parties involved. I think you probably heard from a few of us. I think you probably don't even know that some of the others are involved at all. The main interest tonight is to try to bring as many of those interests together in the room, and try to, for the first time, hopefully, get everybody around the idea that as a community, as a city, we can hopefully work together to understand the situation, understand the timeline, and then maybe work creatively to take steps toward a solution here. Short of that, the bottom line is that this building that you're sitting in is going to be sold at auction in a few short weeks. There are a couple ways to stop that. There's a notion that this could be transitioned to a nonprofit, which would then own and keep up the building, and then possibly hire an operator to run the day-to-day operations, a qualified operator that understands the industry, that understands running a business like this. A private investor could step forward between now and then and secure the building. Short of those couple of scenarios happening, it's moving through foreclosure and moving to auction. So it's important that everybody understand that timeline. I'm not expecting that we come out of here with a solution, but we wanted you to be more aware of what's happening and seek out input and the opportunity for input and information as you hopefully want to. I believe there's, as it is, it's been run for 7 years as a single screen, first run movie theater. There's some indication that of interest to keep it that way.